Okay, I got a couple of seconds, but I think we'll go ahead and get started. We pass to Bill Ludwig from Five Stone Church for opening prayer. Always appreciated.
Thank you. Let's pray together. Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us and the hope that it brings, that we can experience more of your goodness in our lives. We pray that for the citizens of our county, the workers, all the people that make the decisions that help us to realize what life flourishing looks like. So I pray for my friends here, that you give them wisdom where they lack it, that there would be a sense of unity here. Lord, that all brings you glory and does us some good. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Hey, June. Yeah. I'm not sure what that is.
Thanks.
It's on your desk, though. Not sure what that does. Okay, we have several appointments this morning. We got County Recorder Michael Crow, Rebecca Garcia from the Rape Crisis Domestic Violence Safe Haven, and Deputy Chris Hall for dog license update. So we'll do those starting at 9:10. Okay, this is business for Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, the Board of Action County Commissioners. Number one, approve the board minutes, the minutes of the board's meeting on Thursday, September 26, 2024. Do I have any additions or corrections? Hearing none, they stand approved as presented. Number two, consider the cancellation of the board's scheduled meeting for Tuesday, October 8, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Number three, approve the following items to be declared surplus and not needed for the use for which it was acquired and authorized to be disposed of by GovDeals Internet Auction according to Revised Code 307.12. Dover School has a 2010 Ford Econoline van. Do I have a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Number four, accept a donation valued at $2,796.06 for gravel and fencing from Homeward Bound for a new outside play area at the dog shelter. Do I have a motion for acceptance?
I'll move to accept the donation.
Second.
Any discussion? That will be, there's an existing fence in the back of the dog shelter that was left by Ohio Edison, and we're splitting that with, the dog shelter's gonna take half of it for a little dog park. The other half will be used for storage for the fairgrounds. So the stone and the fencing will be to upgrade the left side of that enclosure for the dog shelter. Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Yes. Number five, authorize a resolution allowing Ashland County. Oh my gosh, I apologize. I don't know why I start doing that when I come in this office. I don't know why I don't know why my brain does that. Allowing Ashland County Sheriff to apply for a procurement card from Sutton Bank. Do I have a motion for authorization?
Move to authorize.
I'll second.
Any discussion? The reason that we're changing banks, or if the board approves it, is the present bank that they're using for their credit card would not increase their allowance. There was a $6,000 limit, and they had some, when they do, that's not much, when you, because you put a lot of stuff on the card for their operations, and they need the card. They couldn't use it because it exceeded their limit on doing some educational things they wanted to put on that. So this will allow us a larger dollar amount. Please call the roll.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Oh. Authorize number 6. Authorize the purchase of 3 2024 Dodge Durangos for Ashland County Sheriff's Office at a price of $40,845 each for a total of $122,535 to be paid for from the sheriff's equipment line item. Department 24 is requested by Chief Deputy David Blake. Do I have a motion for
I'll
authorization?
move to authorize.
Second.
Any discussion? Normally what we did, this is going to be kind of an advancement of 2025's budget. Dave found a place that was knocking $4,000 off for 2024's, making room for 2025's. So it's a 10% savings on each vehicle if we buy now as opposed to waiting next year to do our normal 3 vehicle a year replacement for the sheriff's department. So we're just pushing that up this year. Next year we'll pull that off the budget line item if it's approved. And they won't have a budget for new cars next year. Please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes. Accept an estimate of Point Security Inc. in the amount of $41,442 for the purchase and installation of X-ray inspection system, a walk-through metal detector, an additional 1-year on-site extended warranty for the courthouse entrance, to be paid for from 103 Capital Projects as recommended by Captain Joe Perry. Do we have a motion for acceptance?
Move to accept.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Again, this was a new unit. If you're not aware of it, as of Monday, it's a 1-entrance courthouse. You have to go in the back door. You can't go in any other door in the building. The front and the other side is not accessible. They are fire exits though. They're not shut off, but to go in that courthouse now, you got to go around back. And we put in there at the moment an older unit just for temporary, what I call airport security. I've been told that we were the last courthouse in the state of Ohio not to have a single entrance walkway. So that is just for the new system for that. Any other discussion, comments?
No.
Please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes. Number 8, authorize then now certification payment of warrants for commissioners and health department. Do I have authorization to pay bills?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You guys want me to finish this and then go because it is 9:10.
Oh, it's
Then a
not
minute.
quite 9.
Oh,
Might as well
we got
finish.
3 minutes. Oh, we're
Yeah.
good. Okay. If the board president doing his job, that clock would be corrected. Number 9, vote to rescind a resolution adopted by the Board of Ashland County Commissioners on September 26, 2024, is recorded in Journal 119, page 184, to process a limited warranty deed to BP Matrix LLC for the purchase of lots 248, 249, 250 in the city of Ashland. Do I have a motion to rescind?
I'll move to rescind.
Second.
Any discussion? Oh yeah, there's a discussion. When we went to file that warranty deed, it was not correct. There was some issues with it. As recorder sitting there laughing at us. It was not prepared correctly. We missed some things, so we have to rescind it. And we are working now on trying to make that right. And so next time, I already talked to the guys upstairs, and we will double check that before we put it on the agenda to make sure it's correct. Please call the roll.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Motion carried.
It's, I just hate being a human being sometimes. It's just a bummer. Number 10, concur with the following appropriations. The sheriff, $122,535, Fund 1, Department 24 equipment. And that's for the purchase of 3 vehicles. Do I have a motion to concur?
Move to concur.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Oh, and by the way, that is for the vehicles only. That does not include equipment. I know it's another big dollar, like $10,000 a car or something, to put new equipment in those. And those will not probably be available for at least 6 months, because that's how far the companies are for the equipment that goes in those vehicles. They're way behind, so they're not gonna be on the road for a while, but we gotta get them get started. Any other questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Biddle?
Yes. Okay, we'll wait for number 11 and we'll wait for number 12. Okay. So now it is 9:09, but we do have the recorder here early. Thank you. You ready, Michael? Just don't forget, you gotta give your name, address, and phone number. No, not address. Our phone number. Oh, I got your phone number.
My name is Michael Crowe. I am the Ashland County Recorder. I am here to request $92 in my technology fund. The co-file, which is now GovOS, is not taking care of our equipment. We don't lease it anymore. They have given it to us. So it's like 5 years old, so it's getting ready to, we'll need new here in the future. We are collecting $6 now. That'll give us 8, which gives the county 9 for a 2-page, 1 or 2-page document. Anything after that, you guys split with the state. So we also now have to pay for our cartridges. Paper has gone up in price. But basically, we are needing it for supplies to go with whatever we have. So
When was the last time we upped that?
I think it was about 6 years ago.
Obviously, everybody knows the
Everything's-
inflation.
Yeah, everything's going on.
On those equipment that was given to you that's 5 years old, do you have any idea what the dollar replacement those when you go to replace those? I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, or I mean, are they reasonable, or do you have any idea?
With what we have now, yes, it's close to 100,000.
Okay,
You know, depending on how we go.
Yeah, right.
Jim would know more about that than I
yeah,
would. And it will be my successor's
job
job to
to do that.
replace.
Okay,
So
but just just trying to get the public an idea. That stuff's very expensive,
we have money in our technology,
right?
but that'll drain.
Yeah, that would go pretty quick at those dollars. Yeah, yeah. Any other questions?
I don't.
No? Okay. Thank you, Michael. Okay, we'll go to number 11. Authorize Michael Crowe, Ashland County Recorder, to increase document fees by $2 for a new total of $8 to be collected per regular document and to allow the UCC documents to remain. Oh, sorry about that. That's my church bells. Okay, where's that? Let me start all over. Authorize Michael Crowe, Ashland County Recorder, to increase document fees by $2 for a new total of $8 to be collected per regular document and to allow UCC documents to remain at a fee of $2.50 per document to be effective on January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029. Do I have a motion for authorization?
I move to authorize.
Second?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Rebecca, we're a few minutes early, but if you're ready, we can.
Sure.
That would be good. So I've already broke that glass this morning. I broke that glass this
All
morning.
right.
Yeah, just please give your name and address and phone number and weight, height, and
This is different from last time. So good morning, everyone. I am Rebecca Garcia, and I am the program director of the Rape Crisis Domestic Violence Safe Haven program in town. We serve victims, survivors of domestic violence, sexual assaults, human trafficking, and stalking. We are a prevention program, and we also are a shelter. We do have a 16-bed facility here in town, serving Ashland County victims and surrounding victims if need be. So that's a little bit about me and why I am here. I do have been here annually asking for the marriage and divorce fees to go to Safe Haven for our services. What a lot of people don't know is that we do a lot of emergency services as well. One of the cases that I'm aware of that we take people in the middle of the night if the hospital calls or law enforcement calls. My staff know that that's a yes, no matter the circumstances, because they do not have the ability to place people in the middle of the night in places, so that we always say yes. So we offer an emergency service to the community, and we do not ask for any fee. None of what we do are billable services. So nobody we served, not community member, not any survivor, no victim, there's no billable services going out of Safe Haven. So the only way that we can sustain our work is through grants, is through foundations, through money like this, and the generosity of the community. That is the only way we can do what we do. We believe it's very important as a person is going through a crisis situation that we not put one more burden on them with finances. We wrap the arms around them with all the services that we have and our abilities to make sure that they can take that crisis and get to stability, and then to autonomy is what our role is. We are a temporary emergency shelter, which sometimes gets confusing. We're not a homeless shelter, but we do understand that homelessness can be the residual effect of domestic violence, sexual assault. It is something that goes along with it, so we do understand it can get masked with just homelessness. Some people are a lot more comfortable saying, I'm homeless than I was raped. It's a lot different. And so we understand that that takes time. I did bring my 2023 impact report from last year to, and I see Dylan's here, and I thank him for his article in the newspaper, so thank you very much. Who highlighted a lot of these already, so they are available to the community. If you just look at Dylan's article yesterday about the candlelight vigil that we just held. And I've been thinking about the candlelight vigil. This is our 16th year doing it. And there's so many people that suffer so many losses in their lives. And there's not a lot of time for people to remember. There's not a lot of platforms in which they have a space to hold to remember their loved one. Murder victims, we've had how many murders in Ashland this last year? More than I think we've ever had before in a year's time. We don't hold a vigil for them. This is a place that we hold a vigil for domestic violence victims and their families. One of the moms said yesterday, the night before, that she doesn't have anybody to talk to about this anymore. Time has gone on and people forget. And this is the only time that she gets to talk about her daughter and remember her, who she was, and how she still feels the loss of her daughter. So that's something that we take a lot of pride in. And it is a meaningful event. Again, thank you for covering, Dylan. I appreciate that very much. But Ashland's had 10 victims that we know of domestic violence that have lost their lives. So our role is very passionate about making sure there's not another. So we do a lot of prevention work in the schools. I'm proud to say that in this last year, that we got into every school district in Ashland County.
Oh, nice.
So that's the first
Nice.
time we've been able to do that, which has just made my heart bloom again, because our goal is if we could work ourselves out of a job, boy, that would be the best blessing we've ever been given. So now that we're into all the schools, and even helping Black River too, we kind of even done some reaching out to Black River because they kind of are on the border there. So it's a blessing that we've been able to do that with approved evidence-based curriculum. So everything is about prevention work and trying to help our world understand healthy relationships. As you all have in front of you, I see you have the nice device of a cell phone, which has been a blessing and a curse because it is make our children very vulnerable and susceptible to predators. And so we have to do a lot of education for prevention, not only to the kiddos, but the parents. It's moving faster than we could possibly stay on top of. And so it's really important that we have this opportunity to go into the schools and talk to the kiddos so that they have some awareness about them. The other thing that's been increasing is the human trafficking. And if you talk to our law enforcement, it's a big deal. And again, those cell phones have been game changers. It used to be big cities, right? They were much more vulnerable in big cities, but now our rural kids are very vulnerable, especially those who have any kind of extra vulnerability if their parents are divorced or if they don't have a lot of home guidance, if they've been in the system for children's services, for adoptions, runaways, mental health issues, any kind of drug or alcohol issues really exacerbates the vulnerability. And so we're seeing that. Here lately, the trend that we've been seeing are adults with have limited cognitive abilities, and there's nobody around to serve. If you are not a child, you don't get children's services help. If you're not over 60, you don't get adult protection help. If you're not actually been diagnosed with a developmental disability, you don't get DD help and you don't get financial help. So there's these 18 to 60-year-olds who are struggling, whether it's from a traumatic brain injury, whether it's from drugs, whether it's just limited cognitivity and not a supportive family. There's no supports out there, and we're struggling. We're struggling to serve them, and we're seeing more and more come throughout our shelter because there's nobody else around who's willing to take them in and to try and get these services wrapped around them. So that's been one of the unique things that we've been dealing with in last year, and just to give you some of the data, but I will give it to you here, that we had 65 folks in shelter last year. 25 of those were youth, and I can tell you we're already past that this year. And our crisis hotline calls last year were 1,037. We are averaging 90 a month right now is our average for our hotline calls. Things are not slowing down. It's very interesting to me how things do go some cyclical. We do seem to have a little bit of less need in the summertime where people can camp and have some other resources where you can handle the elements a little bit better. But when school starts and there's extra eyes on the families, we see a dramatic increase. The children that we've had in shelter are much higher in numbers and then much greater in need. Their trauma is real. I would like to invite you all to come back to the shelter. I believe you've all been there at some point in time in your careers, but we've done some changes too. My office is no longer there because they needed a conference room to be able to meet trainings, and it really just provided a better space for staff to be able to have some space away for them to even just eat lunch and not have to be at your desk. But we also have done a calming corner for kiddos who need to learn how to regulate this emotion. There's a lot of stimuli, and then you got a lot of trauma all trapped in one place. And your trauma and my trauma may not be getting along today. And then you add kiddos and their trauma, and kiddos that have any autistic or sensory issues. That's not an ideal space for them to be in. So we have provided a little corner for them that has some calming and some tactile things for them to self-regulate, learn how to do that in a calming way, in a healthy way. So we're trying to provide those services as well. One of our upcoming events that I want to share with you is our Speak Out that we do. We did talk about it on Tuesday, but the Speak Out is something that's a really powerful event. If anybody's ever had a crisis in their life, you do feel like a victim and you're wanting justice. There's all these emotions that go along with it. And then as the healing process begins and they become further along in the healing process, they turn into a survivor. And it's a very powerful thing to a victim who has had their story told for them, whether in the media or whether by the criminal in the justice process. The victim doesn't get up to talk. They're talking for the victim. And it's finally the chance for the victim to come out and I'm a survivor now. This is my story. And this is how it really happened. Because a lot of that stuff gets edited. So it's a very powerful event. We have that coming up October 15th. And this is at the Freer Field Community Building to make it easily accessible for everyone. It's from 6:30 to 8. And even if you're not a victim, or even if you are and you're just not ready to share your story, it's always a wonderful gift for them to see people surrounding around them to support them, for those who are ready and they're taking that courageous step to speak this out in public. It is a very difficult thing to do. And when they do it, they need the support that the community has around them. The other thing is that some people often don't know that Safe Haven is a part of Appleseed Community Mental Health Center. We are a program of Appleseed and we're very proud of that. And one of the things we started 3 years ago, so this is our 3rd annual Apple Fest, is when anybody comes to Appleseed or Safe Haven, they're in a crisis situation. They don't come there because things are going well. Something has gone awry. And we really want people to see us before that happens so that they have a connection with us, a positive interaction with us before they need help with a crisis. So we've created this Apple Fest. And as a parent of kiddos, I always hated that trick or treat was always during the week. I have a job, and you're like, holy cow, how am I supposed to get this done? And then they're just getting candy, and then you're like, oh my gosh, then they're going to be wired. And so what we really wanted to do is create a space for parents and families to come and do things as a family. So it is a trunk or treat, so we do have candy because you can't leave that out. But we also have a bouncy house. We also have crafts. We also have pumpkins for them to take home and decorate with their parents. We have some games to play. We have face painting, and this year we have Brood's coffee and donut truck. So an extra teaser for you to come. But this is a family-free thing to do. It's only 2 hours, and it's on a Saturday. So, and it's during the day. So we don't have to do it at night. We don't have to, it can be a Saturday thing and just enjoy it as a family. So we really want to promote that for the community to come and enjoy being together as a family event before crises occur. And there'll be a lot of community folks there so that they can meet anybody that they might need resources from prior to any crisis happening. We hope no crisis happen, but we do know eventually something happens to somebody in our community. We want to make sure they know who to go to, and they've already had a connection with us, a friendly face to say, we're going to wrap around you and we're going to walk through you through this crisis. And that's what we do. And that's all I have, unless you guys have questions for me.
Just one question.
Sure.
What's the average length of stay at your facility?
Sure, and that's changed. I know you all know in this room that housing is an issue. So we can talk about that ad nauseum. But what really has happened for our folks, because they've been through a lot of crises, they have developed quite a few poor coping mechanisms. So, or they've never had the opportunity to build credit because they weren't allowed to. And they had to leave in a moment's notice where they may not have gone through all the proper protocols. So what will happen is they have evictions. They'll have maybe criminal histories. They might have poor credit, which makes them especially difficult to house. Most of our housing authorities here in town that offer, a lot of rentals, you have an eviction in your history anywhere. It could be 20 years old. You're automatically disqualified for an application for housing. Then that doesn't talk about getting a job and then making it affordable, because now even affordable housing is very subject to who's actually talking about affordability. Our people cannot do 3 times the rent. It's just not reasonable for them. So we have a lot of times where they stay longer because we're trying to get them into housing, and we've had to then relocate them other communities because we don't have anything here. We try our best to work with local landlords, and we have a great pool of landlords that work with us, but they have limited units. So it just depends. But I would say right now we have moved, it used to be 45 days, and we've moved probably to 90 is where our average stay is right now. It also just depends, because some people will come, they already have a job, they have transportation. It doesn't take that long for them to build up the resources that they need. But we literally get people who have no ID, no birth certificate. They've never applied for anything, and you can't do any of those things. You can't apply for housing. You can't apply for any of those things until you get those documents. You can't go to a job if you don't have any of those things. So that takes time. So then you add kiddos on that, and then how are you going to care for the kiddos and work? Because we have resources, right? But you have to work 30 days before you get the resources for childcare. Well, how does that help somebody if they don't have anybody caring for the children? And that's not something that we do. We don't provide child care for them. So they have to figure these things out, and our resources are limited. So it's a tricky situation.
Sure.
It is very dependent. That's one of the things we're proud of, is that we don't have a definitive line. We don't say you get 90 days and that's it. There are other programs that do. Doesn't matter where you're at in your process. You could be working the best you can, but it didn't work out in 90 days. That's not how we do it. If you're progressing, if you're moving along and you need more time, we'll give you that time.
Apple Fest, you didn't give me a date.
I didn't. I am so sorry. It's October 19th
That's,
from 1 to 3.
and where is that at?
And this is at Appleseed. I almost said Apple Fest. It's at Appleseed, which is 2233 Rocky Lane.
And it's from what to what?
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Mhm.
Okay.
There'll be cider, there'll be apples, all the things. It's going to be a great time. And the kiddos get to decide who has the best trunk. They are the voters. So, and we do give prizes for the trunks as to the first, second, and third. So anybody who wants to, a community provider wants to host a trunk, we would love to have you. But the kiddos get to vote. It's all up to them as to who has got the best one. I'll tell you now that we at Safe Haven, we are going to be the inside out 2 feelings people. So we believe we already have the head start on this. But the kiddos get to decide.
What on your school programs, do you get has that created kind of more references from the students to your facility? The reason I ask that because I just know from some personal experience that they need somebody sometimes just to go talk to. There may be that going on in the family, but the family won't deal with it. The kid knows. Does that school program help that at all?
Well, one of the things that we have at Appleseed, and because we're part of Appleseed, is the school liaison program. But if the school liaisons are involved and they recognize there's a situation that they need our services for, absolutely. We will work with the family, we'll go in, we'll talk to the kiddos, whatever they need. We do, extend that service because we're mobile. If anybody needs us, we're going. But one of the things that Aaron's Law came out this last year, and we've been working with the superintendents and with Ashland superintendent, we're working with them to make sure Aaron's Law gets into every school. It's a requirement for them to have some sort of education, prevention work because of Aaron's Law. And so we've been able to offer that to the schools. So we're very proud of that too, that we are providing, that this is a service we're providing to our community. We don't charge the schools anything either. This is something that we do because it matters to us, that the kiddos get the information. And then again, friendly faces. The more you can get in there and the more they see positive people in their worlds that are ready to invest in them, the more you offset any kind of adverse childhood experiences that they may have had. There's lots of studies now about ACEs and PACEs and being positive people. You'll make a difference. Anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what your role is. You can be a positive influence in a kiddo's life, and it matters.
Next, I was just thinking back over the years that, a lot of kids, unless they are part of your program, then it gives them maybe another option that, gives them an option they had no idea was out there.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think it's so important for the schools, for the children that have abusive family homes, that had no place to go or didn't know how to do it.
Yes.
So I think it's super important that you're in those schools so they have somebody, this is going on my house, but I'm going to talk to, I'm afraid to talk to.
Absolutely.
And it goes on, and so I think it's super critical
Absolutely.
to some of those kids that at least now see a face and understand, okay, this is going on in my house.
And it might
Now I
be
can
the first
talk to
time that
somebody.
they've heard that. Like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh,
this is-
certainly. Certainly.
And we've had kiddos where we even just they'll do like auditorium style presentations, and we'll do a
Right.
presentation, a lot about what happens on phones and what can be sent. And I've had kiddos say, I thought I just had to deal with this.
Right.
That these pornographic messages were coming from another student and I just had to deal with it. And
Right.
no, you don't. That's actually illegal. It's actually
Right.
called child pornography. So they're learning that that's not okay. And then she finally went to somebody and it got stopped. But they had no idea. They just thought they had to deal with it.
Yep. I think it's super critical for all the kids
Absolutely.
see and understand that.
Yeah, like I said, being in all 5 school districts
That's
now is just
huge.
something we're very, very proud of.
That's super huge.
And we continue to do curriculum too, based on what the school went. So last year, we talked to Principal Packard, and he said, can you come in and do something for my seniors so that they're ready to go to college? Because they're going to be facing a lot of different temptations that our other students aren't there yet. So can we do a presentation? Absolutely. Preparing them for what they might face as they go out on their own. Absolutely. Let's equip them with every opportunity that they can to have those knowledge and those tools in their toolbox as they're ready to go off and be adults and make decisions for themselves. So we're very excited that we're continuing to grow in our presence in the schools.
That's really cool.
Just want to say thank you for your work. It's a great asset to our community. We hope that a lot of people support you in your work because it's people don't see a lot of this in their lives sometimes, but people that go through it suffer immensely. So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate what you do.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
One of the unsung heroes of Fashion County.
Thank you.
I
Yes,
mean,
we
truly it is. And that's, you don't see him every day, and just out there doing your job that God has led you to do. And we much appreciate it. This county would not be where it's at without you.
thank you. We do believe that.
Okay, let's go to number 12. Approve a resolution for support for the Rape Crisis Domestic Violence Safe Haven, a program of Appleseed Community Mental Health Center in Ashland, Ohio, for the calendar year 2025, with a participation of Ashland County being approximately 13,000, which is based on information provided by the county's auditor office. This number includes fees collected in the probate and clerk of court offices. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
And again, the reason that's an approximate, because we don't know to the end of the year what that total dollar is. So it could be higher, it could be lower, but that's kind of been the average for several years now. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. As a reminder, Apple Fest, October 19th. Their website, I'm sure, has all the information.
Yes. Website, Facebook page, it's all on there. And you start to see them around town too. We have a few signs around town. So if you see those, recognize that that's us. We're just super excited to have this time for families to come out and just enjoy being together.
That's a great family event. Yeah. And then October 15th for Freer Field from 6:30 to 8 is your
Speak out.
Speak
this
out.
is, again, the very empowering moment for victims to
Yeah.
change over to survivors. And you can see it happening.
Those are both great events, much need on both sides. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. We're taking just a short break as Mr. Welch does whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but we'll take a quick break. Again, then next up we have Deputy Curtis Hall, then dog licenses as soon as Mr. Commissioner Welch comes back. I see we got a couple more black shirts in here today.
We're here to support.
Oh, here in support. We got the sheriff here and Chief Deputy Blake and Sheriff Reisner's here. So this was an interesting program. It'll be very good. All righty. Commissioner Welch has reappeared, so we have Deputy Curtis Hall here for a dog license update. Probably a little more update than that, I assume. Appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen, I'm actually not here to ask for anything. We're just gonna give an update, but it's hard to follow Safe Haven.
Yeah.
Where that is.
Please give name, address, phone number, body, weight, height, eye color.
At this point, I'm pretty sure.
Big.
Yeah. Deputy Hall, Texas County Sheriff's Office. I office at the shelter. Here to just give an update on what we've been doing the last 90 days, or 90 days till you guys make it. Everybody gets to make a decision here. But got a couple things I want to do to start with. This position has definitely been a group effort, and I've done a lot of relationship building with other people. I want to thank the commissioner's office and the stuff that we worked with you guys. I really want to thank the sheriff, Chief Blake, and Captain Sims for allowing me to go out and do some of the things that I'm doing and really be a flexible position. It has created one of the largest cases we've had in recent history, and we'll talk about that in a second. But also, it allows me to go out with my training and community and use community policing strategies, which I'm very proud of, to police this situation and get some great results, including strategies like building bridges, not walls, and police the people, not the problem. Both of those are about understanding the people that we're policing and going out and using those strategies to better the situation. What's also, I want to thank the auditor's office. There have been unsung heroes in this situation. They're pretty quiet over there, but I call multiple times a day to work out situations in the reporting system to get some of these numbers to be what they really reflect, what they really should be. A lot of people move out, a lot of dogs have died, things have happened, but they got to change those records. And I can't do that. And they have been absolutely incredible with me. They have been polite and courteous and at every turn, answered my call and helped me. I want to thank the health department. I've worked very closely with the health department in getting this dog bite situation worked out. They have also been very courteous and helped me understand the situation, educate me on what's happening. Our dog bite numbers are through the roof. That's a current issue we have. The law director's office, I've worked with them on this dog bite issue. I gotta even say, Attorney Wolf and Judge Good. Judge Good, I've heard him talk in public about his opinions, and I've listened to that. Also with Attorney Wolf, I've listened to his opinions, and we have made great advancements in how we handle that situation with how we charge and move forward with respect. And all local law enforcement who has accepted me in this position, helping me, I'm getting a lot of reports that I'm off duty and I'm handling this stuff once I get back on. A lot of people have accepted this, and we have created a procedure that has really not let things slip through the cracks, right? They're calling me, letting me know what's going on. So as soon as I get back on, I start working on these things. And that's been great as well. Gentlemen, we are 60 days from 2025. So some of these numbers will continue to go down, but we're at the end of these numbers, what we can do with these numbers. To give you an update on the numbers, and I want to come back to what we've done with the shelter, but I have handled 170 calls in 90 days. I was a major part, or this position was a major part of the multi-indictment felony case, commonly referred to as the Savannah dog bite. A child was restrained while he was bit by a dangerous dog. We've had 473 delinquent dog licenses resolved. We've had 641 total licenses purchased for roughly $20,000 of revenue brought into the shelter fund. What I think there's a misconception of is that money is going into the general fund, and it is not. It's directly going right back into the shelter fund, which is important, and it's actually relieving some of the financial stress in the shelter. But that's not the only money we put back in there. There's been a total of 12,926 licensed dog owners in Ashland County. We are third overall in the surrounding counties of dog licenses. The number of unrenewed dog licenses, we have come down from midway in that to doing the right thing. And so all the surrounding counties, we are third place, which is pretty good. We are actually about half of the program that we built this around, which is Union County. A lot of the information came from Union County that we built this, and they have about 1,200, and we're down to 476. 473 as of last time I looked at. So a good thing, which has actually been a pleasant surprise. The shelter performance has stepped up quite dramatically. We're currently housing 34 dogs, or they are currently housing 34 dogs. I guess I'll say that as we, because I'm in and out of there quite a bit. There have been 35 dogs adopted, which is an incredible number. 40 dogs reunited with their owners. This has been a roughly $7,300 in revenue. That number is actually low, I believe. I can't see it for what it is, but I believe that's low. That's the minimum number. If we charge just the minimum number of fees, but there's other fees that go along with that to add to that number. So that number is likely very low. For a total of about $27,000 of revenue back into the shelter. And that's starting to really relieve some of the stress on the shelter. That's kind of what I have. I'm sure there's some questions and stuff, but so can you put up the adoption event? So you guys are well aware we're trying to have a more public appearance and have a get the public to know what we're doing and understand our processes. So we've done a couple things. We've added the fair booth, which you guys were aware of. We just successfully did that. We had some leads come from there. In March, we have Antlers and Anglers. We're going to have a co-booth between the shelter and the sheriff's office. And then this adoption event, it's going to be a pool. I love the picture. Raffle baskets. It's this weekend, 11 to 3. I'll be there if you want to talk to me for a little while. I don't know that I'll be there the whole time, but I will be there for some times of it, a bit of it. But there's a lot of great dogs, and it's a chance to see the shelter for what it really is, a great place. So I'm excited to see people there. I think they might even have food. I'm not 100%, maybe some hot dogs or something, but maybe I might be wrong on that. But another part of building the relationship with the public, that they can know that they can come to us and get a good dog for their family. And dogs are a special part of the family. So this is something that's coming up, and I think that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Do you have any questions?
I do have a comment. Thank you for your professionalism.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
You are a stickler to details.
Appreciate that, you
Yep.
guys. And we are. Well, yeah.
The sheriff thinks he takes after him. Nobody heard that.
I gotta say, man, I've had a lot of great conversations with the sheriff leading up to this, which has been a part of my professionalism, the ups and downs of a career, and I do owe a lot to the sheriff, the chief, and then Captain as well. You know what I mean? So, I'm at the right time in my career to be in this position.
Just a comment or two, Curtis. We went into this really not knowing how it was gonna go. We talked to the counties to see how they did business, and we mirrored Union County, I guess, the way they do stuff. Maybe a blend from everybody we talked to. What we do. Doesn't matter what program you have, you got to have the right guy in the position. Somebody who's got the enthusiasm, commitment, and dedication to do the job. This is a tough job. Believe it or not.
It is.
It's a tough job when you're dealing with somebody's family member, which is a pet for a lot of people. It's a difficult job. We generated a lot of revenue. A lot of licenses have been updated, renewed. We found out there's a lot of them that didn't know in advance, that we didn't know that, so we got that or two. But Curtis actually hasn't really cited very people in this process at all. But he telegraphs where he's going to be working. And believe it or not, in those areas before he gets there, a lot of them, they get their license.
It works.
It works. And he's done it in the city, and he's done it out in the township, in the village. So, and our goal is just to get people in compliance, and not necessarily to harm anyone or anything. And we've dealt with some people that had multiple dogs. They had a big bill they had to pay them, to get them all in.
And then another one coming up in January.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's been a very positive program for County. I think it's been a good thing for us to take this over and do this. And moving forward, I think it's only going to get better. We're still learning, and we're things to learn. But the shelter's benefited greatly from this. It's going to help them a lot. And I think we really have a special guy that's focused on the dogs that are at the shelters. They matter too. They matter to Curtis. We want to make sure that we do everything we can for them. Make it easier. That's the problem. So, with that, that's, if you have any questions for me?
I'd just like to make a statement. First off, I'd like to thank Commissioner Welch for doing the background and finding out that we could put a deputy and have the sheriff as the dog warden. And then I'd like to thank you, Sheriff, for working with us on this program, and to you, Deputy Hall, for the great job you're doing for the citizens and for the animals of Ashland County. I'm seeing, when I see the positive results, I believe that the more you get out there and around, I think people will see us not as adversarial, but here to help and help the animals that need it here in Ashland County. So thank you, Sheriff, Captain Blake, and Deputy Hall, for all you're doing. I think it's a wonderful program.
Yeah, I want to just I've worked closely with Deputy Hall. I call him Kurt. But it's been, not just only, and we were over 900 unlicensed dogs when he started. So it tells you how much he's got done just in that short period of time. And he's a well-organized guy. He has helped me and us at the shelter on many other issues, not just dog licenses and bites. He's been a real godsend of information and ideas just for Operations Dog Shelter. Way above what he's really supposed to be doing, his job, but he's extended way past that. And it's interesting working with Kurt is that, there's tough decisions sometimes has to be made, but dog lovers love dogs. Kurt is one of those guys, but he also understands there's times decisions have to be made, and he's very political. He's very good at it. We are a no-kill shelter by statute of an organization that says we are. And that means that less than 10% of our dogs a year are euthanized. It does not mean a no-kill shelter does not mean no dogs are euthanized. I mean, there are certain circumstances, and working with Kurt, it's a process before he recommends a dog to be euthanized, which is really good because before we really had no system. Okay, why do we euthanize a dog? Why would we have to euthanize a dog? So Mr. Hall has come in and given us lots of leadership in that area, which really has helped us a lot. And that's always been a big issue, of the shelter. Yeah. And it's worked out really well because it is, as everybody knows, it's been around the county for a couple of years. It's been an issue, euthanization of dogs and why and because of. And, so that process has been very well done. And very well investigated before any decisions are made. And I appreciate that because that is, people don't realize that is very, very difficult. Even dog bites, even aggressive dogs or vicious dogs, it's still very difficult to make a decision to put a dog down. It's just not that easy. So again, I want to appreciate that, tell him that personally, it's very, very appreciative because that is something we needed really bad with the new shelter. How we handle that and how we're going to go forward with that. And you guys have given us tons and tons of information by your work, by investigating, go out and doing something we didn't have time to do or the ability to do is going out to look at other shelters and, okay, how these guys do things, how do they do, because we weren't doing them that way, and this is far and away the best thing that I believe this board has ever done for the dog shelter. Because going forward, it's going to be great. It's great now. It's still got a little work, as you said, Sheriff. I mean, we're not there yet, but it's amazingly, amazingly different than it was before you guys come in and have taken over that part of it.
We found out when we were looking at not any one of those were doing it the same way.
Right.
All of them, they all read the statute and it was different.
Yeah.
They had different opinions on the same thing.
Yeah. Sure.
So the last thing I'd like to do is commend Chief Blake. When we first got into this, he took the ball and really ran with it. He's the one that set up the business and all the stuff that we did with other counties. I really researched the law and got us on board with what we were supposed to do. Got motivated him to get into this and get started. So I owe a lot to the chief.
You mentioned motivation. Is it hard to get him motivated?
Chief.
Steve, I know Kurt is not hard to motivate. In fact, that is.
I'll say a little or no comment.
Yeah, if we could have just a little more explanation on the Savannah deal, Deputy Hall, as to what a normal dog warden did versus what you were able to do by being a deputy and working license.
So to understand the kind of the way this position is done, it is reimagined, right? So I'm doing dog warden and investigative stuff at the same time. So the place sends me an information, I go out, look at it, decide whether we can do anything with it. So there's a call comes in over the weekend. Guys call me, something sounds off. I end up going in on a Saturday, things are off. But I go to the hospital, see this kid, and I'm just uncomfortable with it. We make some decisions on the weekend and wait until Monday morning until clearer heads start to get there. So ultimately, my position was able to go interview the kid, and that's what we did. And we went and interviewed the kid. At that point, the sheriff got involved and motivated, or actually, enacted all his people, and it became an agency-wide incident. Detective bureaus, road division, search warrants, and everything that come along with that. But the flexible, my ability to do investigations and to be flexible and where I'm at that particular time. If I'm not here, you guys know that I'll be back eventually. So I come back and I do my dog word stuff. But this position, I went out and this case is ongoing. I can't. But it was the flexibility of the position that actually allowed this case to happen. Guys did a great job. The young guys that was there, guys on the ball, everybody did a great job. But it was an agency-wide effort that started the dog.
But you, as a person going out for license, as our past dog wardens, he would not been able to investigate that or to look into that, where you, with your position in dual working as a deputy and working under the sheriff for the dog thing, it enabled that to happen. So I'm extremely, that's one of the biggest successes I've seen, Sheriff, and being able to have a deputy in this position.
Well, and he's in tune with what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Detectives. Search warrants, so, get involved in that process to go.
Yeah, one thing that the people need to understand that haven't been said yet is dog wardens are Harvey's rules are different than the sheriff that operates dog warden in those rules, and that's the ability for the sheriff's department to do a lot more because their rules are different by law. So the other thing too is it also allows flexibility for this community to have another officer that, if need be, he's there. I mean, he can at any time obviously leave his responsibilities for the dog shelter and go assist on the road or whatever the sheriff's department needs. And I think that's another huge advantage for the community. It gives us another officer at need when we need it.
My time is patrol heavy. At this point, we're still patrol heavy. We're high workload, but once that workload's done, I get in the car and I go.
And I think the other thing it gives us, if he's not here,
Sheriff.
So he's repeated, so Facebook link
the
in
other
there.
part is, Curtis, if he's in school on vacation, we have redundancy. We have other deputies that can fill in.
Yep.
Nobody does. Says what we do. So nothing stops because he's gone.
Right.
We'll continue on. Somebody puts on. Call it. Chief Wilson. No.
Well, actually, I think there's a point that Chief was going to make, and I think, if you don't mind.
No, good.
So Chief was going to make a point, and I think it's a very good point. If there was a dog warden in this position, he's not a law enforcement officer. So he goes up there. If he doesn't, most dog wardens would have went up there because they don't have some power that would needed to be with us. If we didn't go up there, we'd never found this case. The interview would have never happened. There's a whole teddy bear and report building time that happens because I understand that things as a cop. And this case we would have never found this out. This would have been a terrible thing that went on in our community that we would have never found out if there's a dog warden in place. That is a true story. We cannot change that. But moving forward, we can still, these cases will be found out and we will move forward and we will prosecute these cases with the help of the prosecutor's office. And as this news comes out, I mean, obviously as this case comes out, how many indictments and stuff comes out, it'll be incredible for our community to get that information.
Well, thanks for what you did.
Yeah, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yep.
No, it really is.
It's a team effort to make it.
You know, and it doesn't, we couldn't even come close to doing at that dog shelter what we're doing now. Yeah, and I know it probably upsets some people because they had to buy dog licenses that they've never bought dog licenses for. But I believe that, those licenses are for the protection of other dogs and people in the community. So it helps fund that dog shelter, it helps fund officers, it helps fund protect people. So there's a lot more to that $18 that you buy your dog license. It's a community-wide safety for everybody in this county. So again, I appreciate, doing that.
I want to add this. It is more important that we encourage people to pay $18 than 36 moving forward. That's what we don't want to take money out of their pocket. We know it's a tough time. So moving into next season, we need to find ways to encourage the 18 instead of 36. That is more important to me as a cop, not taking money out of kids' lunch money. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough times. So we really need to find ways. Now, we're all going to talk about that, I'm sure. But we need to find ways to encourage that instead of $36.
So far, you've done really good. So the 400, and not all those are new licenses. A lot of them, like you said, are clearing out dogs that are no longer in the county, or they passed away, or people have moved out. So, but a majority of them were licenses. Yeah,
Yeah, double penalty licenses.
Yeah.
A lot of it was double penalty license. So
yeah, and we don't like that either.
we just gotta, we
We'll
know
get
that
there.
it's great.
We'll get there. Education, and one thing other that Kurt had brought up that I never thought of, and I don't think he's been on the shoulders. We need to go out and educate. The first thing he said, no, we're not sitting in this office. We're going out to the people. We're not waiting for the people to come to us. And that was quite a revolution for me is, wow, yeah, that's what we've done for you as a dog shelter. We've always kind of sit there and, do our dog calls and whatever, but we really never went out and educated and get people to understand what the dog shelter does, why it does it, and how important it is for the community. So yeah, that was a cool thing. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, I had one. Remind me what the fee is for a dog license?
$18
$18.
for one dog.
And if they miss it, it's
Double.
another $18?
Yes,
That's
yes, it's double.
So it's $18 between December and February. So February 1st goes double penalties. You have 2 months to buy your license under single penalty or under normal rate, and we're going in the future. We're gonna find ways to remind people. I want to be creative. I've been talking about trying to get some yard signs. It's just things to put out on county property as you drive by. It's a quick reminder. There's things that we could do to keep that open, but there's really not a lot we could do. There's no public events in Ashland County that I've been able to be aware of at this point between December and January that will allow me to be out there. So we have to find more creative ways to remind people at that time. But it's 60 days away, so.
And they do get, every dog license does get a letter from the auditor about renewing their license. They can renew it. They can send it in. They can go to numerous places throughout the county. I know several places throughout the county that do sell dog licenses. I believe there's Loudonville up north. I mean, there's several places that do sell dog licenses in your communities. I know you can just mail it back, the check, and then the license is mailed to you. So yeah, every dog license in the county will get a letter from the auditor saying it's time to renew.
So from December 1st to January 31st,
Correct.
it's $18 to get a year license.
Correct.
And then February 1st to November 31st, it's
36.
But there's also a fine potentially, right?
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
well, so the fine is $150 plus the license. So, and court fees. So
Yeah.
we want to, that's not I mean, obviously it has happened and I have done it, but we don't want to do that. That's not my mission. I'm not here this is a position that you don't have to write a bunch of tickets to get the message out. That's not,
Right.
And I know that. But there has been some people just like, I'm not getting licensed. All right, well, then we can do it this way. Like, I mean, like, but that's not the common. Okay, I mean, that's not been. Most people have been like, "Oh, you're here." So, but yesterday I talked to a lady. She's from Florida. She didn't understand what dog licenses are. They didn't do it there. So, all right, well, yeah, get a dog license. You know what I mean? And it's been resolved. I looked at it this morning. It's been resolved. So, I mean, a lot of it's just taking a dog license. Cool. See you. I mean.
And not all. Unless it's-
As you can see, Deputy Hall is quite fair with the residents in this area.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as best I can with it.
Yeah.
But dog bites should get tickets. I mean, that's
Yeah.
so that's the hard part. Dog bites get tickets.
And
Sorry.
and not all people that have not got their license in time, they don't get a ticket. I mean, a lot of them would just pay the 36. There's just certain circumstances that Deputy Hall will cite them.
It's rare. Been rare.
Yeah. But it is a possibility. So be nice to him when he shows up.
They wanted to visit, I think it was 34, 35 dogs are housed at the dog shelter right now. How are the efforts going on getting those older dogs out adopted? That's one of the concerns that residents have expressed. Is that we don't want to euthanize these dogs, but also they're unadopted. So how are we getting them adopted?
So I'm gonna go ahead and, this is your guys' topic.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make a comment on some of the changes that's happened. So as we start becoming a more professional workplace, or more professional agency or organization, people are coming to us. We're able, not everybody has different needs. So some people do want old dogs, and we're seeing it. There's no, I mean, but some people want a puppy, but we don't really have them. So they start looking at our other options. It's a process that's resolving itself slowly. You can see the number going down, adoptions going up, redemptions going up, because the licensors are starting to give us people to call when we get their dog in. Like, there's things that are starting to resolve itself by just having the steadiness of working through each problem as it arises. I'll give the rest of you guys.
Yeah,
That's fine.
you can, if you want to talk to Shannon out there, that they have, I know they brought people in, one young lady in particular that she comes in and works with some more of the difficult dogs and tries to get them adoptable. That's been going on. I mean, it's still. I mean, I won't. I'm not going to hide anything. There's still a couple dogs out there, been there for a while that are being analyzed. Maybe not the right term, but being reviewed to look at, see if they're trainable, to see if we can get them out of their vicious or their current non-adoptable issues. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot more programs by volunteers on adoption. Actually, it sounds like 35 is a lot, but we've also adopted 35. So it seems, it's an ongoing door. It just keeps rotating all the time. Get some in, you get some out. Get some in, get some out.
Capacity there is what, 70?
Capacity right now is 50. Yeah, we have the building capacity would be 70 if we have cages for all, but we didn't put cages in for 50. The other ones are used for playroom. Because then we decided, we thought, in the wintertime and even summertime, they'll take some of those back pods and use them as play areas for dogs. A lot of times they use that for training for dogs. So bring if they got a dog that doesn't work with dogs, they'll bring those two dogs into that area and see if they can get them acclimated with other dogs and kind of train them that way. So it's really worked out pretty well by not making them all caged. Gives them more opportunities for training.
I guess the euthanasia policy, that's the big hairy issue, I guess, that gets found out or dealt with back in January.
Yes, and
Has that been, are you going to amend that? Are you addressing
yes,
that?
we've got a couple more looks at, that is on the radar to be done here next month or so. I in particular was holding off on, once we got Kurt there, if there's any other kind of policy changes that might occur when the sheriff department got involved. So that's why I've not presented to the board. So we'll get, I think I'm close enough now with anything, recommendations of the committee, obviously. And then I think we have just a few more tweaks with Kurt there, that he's come up with maybe some better ideas on a couple of other issues. So then, because I didn't want to go in and start changing that policy, every month or 2 months or whatever. So that's why it's not been changed. But yes, that will be changed. The 1-year euthanization will be taken out. There will be better terminology on the process that he's already looked at and used for that part of the bad part of dealing with dogs. The one bite dog we have, and I mean there are instances that you don't have a choice. And Curtis has been very good about that. And very good about the procedures going forward. What those will be, and not time as okay. Is it definitely not adoptable? Can we not find a rescue? The procedure will go through before that decision is made. But there will be a recommendation by Mr. Hall on that procedure, and we'll have that in the policy.
Sheriff, would you introduce our guest in the back? I don't think we've.
Well, myself, I was just kind of following courtesy, but I'm the chow. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
You might have probably left.
You take one with you all the time, huh?
When I came in, I saw him, I said, what's this all about?
That's right.
He doesn't,
Josh is a blessing to
yeah.
this community, but he's certainly a blessing to our sheriff's office. He's
Oh,
our
yeah.
agency chaplain and he's instrumental in a positive way to our agency. It's absolutely a blessing. He's a pretty good singer out here.
Yeah, I agree. Now we'll be okay until he starts trying to convert dogs. You know, we see him down there working with a dog trying to convert them up.
They all live in heaven.
Yeah, they do. Good point. Good point. That's my wife believes that. Yeah, yeah. She won't go to heaven without her dogs. That's for sure. She'll go without me, but she won't go without her dogs. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Good.
All right. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate the public sticking with us. It's a very important part, and great job. Keep it up. Appreciate it. Mike, get out of here. Go. Go.